Let's invite the key star of the day, Mr. Vivek Shetty, Managing Director, Indus Communication, who will speak on the topic presentation and imaging. Before I invite him, let me introduce you to Mr. Vivek Shetty. A multifaceted personality and a man of all seasons, Vivek Shetty is a motivational speaker and successful entrepreneur. As a managing director of Indus Communication, a communications powerhouse offering 360-degree solutions with specific focus on advertising, public relations, event and celebrity management. Indus Communications today has positioned itself as one of the foremost PR and image building agencies in the country with offices in Mumbai, Bengaluru, Pune and New Delhi. The experiential aspect is very evident in Vivek's approach to addressing the needs of his clients. He firmly believes that thought, philosophy, vision and teamwork have to come together in unison to obtain desired results. This thought process has also helped orchestrate the right notes and attain harmony in his passion as a singer and musician at the helm of his own band. However, today, let's see and hear him as he weaves the magic of his presentation skills and shows us how to build an image. May I invite Mr. Vivek Shetty on stage.
Friends, good morning. And Madhura, thank you for that very kind introduction. You've been very generous with your words. Madhura gave a very interesting example of the cup being completely full and no space for any more tea to be poured into the cup. That is a very wonderful example. I would also like to share a similar example with you before I begin my address on importance of presentation skills and imaging. There was once, may I call him a trainer for the benefit of all of you all here, who was serving in Gautam Buddha's ashram. Gautam Buddha had molded him along these principles of Buddhism. And one fine day, he saw a man who was begging on the street. And obviously, he wanted to bring some positive change in his life. So he thought the most ideal way of probably doing it would be to take him to Gautam Buddha. And thereby, he would be open to the knowledge that Gautam Buddha possesses, and that would probably change and transform his life. And after a lot of persuasion, this man convinced that beggar on the street and took him to Gautam Buddha. Gautam Buddha had one look at him and told his disciple, so to speak, or his trainer, if I may say, please take this gentleman away for 3 days, just feed him, give him a good bath, give him good clothes. I don't want to preach anything. The disciple was astonished by the approach of Gautam Buddha. But he religiously followed the orders given by Gautam Buddha and took him away. 3 days later, he brought the same disciple again to Gautam Buddha. The man's stomach was full, he was wearing good clothes, he had a proper meal, and he was feeling fresh. And then Gautam Buddha started preaching to him. Friends, the moral of the story is, as trainers or as people who are sharing knowledge with others, it's very important to understand your audience. I am not Gautam Buddha for sure, anywhere close to him, but this example inspired me a lot. And I'm curious to ask, have you had a heavy breakfast this morning?
Yes.
So probably whatever I'm trying to convey to you, whatever I'm trying to say to you will probably be digested a lot more better. You've had a good breakfast this morning, each one of you. Yeah. Okay. And all of you are trainers, largely speaking. Majority of you, can I just have can I request all the trainers to raise their hands, please? Oh, fantastic. Okay. Almost 50% of the gathering here is our trainers. It's a fantastic opportunity for us always to address trainers. The reason being, I think this is one breed of professionals which will make the greatest impact if India is to become the economic superpower in the 21st century, the giant quantum leap that we are talking about. Friends, as we all know, knowledge is probably the only form of exchange in this world where there is a multiplier effect on the giver and the taker. Now, how many of us really understand what we mean by a multiplier effect on the giver and the taker? If I share one idea with you and you share one idea with me, we both have two ideas. But if I give you 1 rupee and you give me 1 rupee, we still have 1 rupee each. So you all are in a fantastic profession. So first and foremost, congratulations to each one of you. Congratulations to Star 50 and congratulations to HDI for this fantastic effort. I would request a big round of applause. Because this is the breed of professionals that is going to impact the 21st century in a manner that is more significant and more bigger than any other impact that we might possibly see. Having said this, before I get down to actual importance of presentation skills and imaging, I would first like to literally ask myself and each one of you, what do we mean when we use the term presentation and imaging skills? This is a very vastly observed phenomenon, but least understood in my opinion. But why do I say so? Presentation and imaging skills is not when you're given a platform on stage or you're invited to speak as a keynote speaker at an important gathering. Presentation and imaging skills is everything that you do on a day-to-day basis as a professional. It matters at every level. It's not just about when you're making a presentation or when you're interacting with a client on a professional basis or interacting with some people down the line and giving them what we call some gyan. Now, why do I say this? I'll give you an example from my personal professional career, which happened nearly 10 years ago. At a party hosted by a handsome young gentleman at one of the sleek 5-star hotels, I happened to meet, I got introduced to the CEO of a multinational company, which is today, incidentally, in the Forbes 500 list. At that point of time, it was a chance interaction. And we shared some pleasantries, and I had an opportunity of precisely 3 minutes to speak to him. The exchange that lasted for 3 minutes resulted in me getting a call from their office the following week, a meeting with the chairman, and subsequently, we are doing business with them for the last 12 years. God's grace. Now, at this moment, you are required to do your very best and present yourself at your very best. There was no call given, there was no prior notice given. It was a chance interaction. So my moot point is, presentation and imaging skills is a state of mind. It's a state of mind. And it has to be a permanent state of mind. You can't flirt with it, you have to have a full-fledged affair. I'm sure many of you all have had many affairs in your lifetime. Haven't we?
No. Not like you.
That's Anil Morarka for you. And trust him to come up with the most wittiest comments. But you'll hear him soon. But my point is, presentation and imaging skills have to happen always, all the time, no matter where you are as a professional, it has to happen. So this is my first moot point. Presentation skills and imaging is not about a platform given about some specific occasion or some specific moment. It's a permanent state of mind. We have all read that US is spying, US satellites are spying on every aspect of your life now. I think except for your living rooms and bedrooms and washrooms, Your internet is being monitored, your Facebook is being monitored, your Twitter is being monitored. So what's happening? Whether you like it or not, you're being monitored. I look at it as a fantastic opportunity also. You never know if the White House is monitoring your Facebook and Twitter and your social media, and you present yourself well there, you might get a call from the White House to be part of their core team. So there's a fantastic opportunity. And if the White House is doing this, and the United States of America is doing this, the day is not too far off, and other countries will also start doing this. So as I said, except maybe for the washroom of your office where you can afford to be stark naked without any presentation skills, in every other area of your professional interaction, you need to have presentation skills, whether you like it or not. So, having understood what presentation skills and imaging is, now we get down to the core subject, importance of presentation skills and imaging. If you look at history, technology has been rapidly changing, softwares have changed, we have fantastic gadgets and technical wizardry at our disposal today, but one thing is not changed. What is that? Be it 200 years earlier or maybe another 100 years from now, you will still find a man coming up and speaking to you. Be it pre-independent India, when Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru probably gave the first speech on the eve of India's independence, or be it today, where many other speakers would come and present their views to you on various subjects. There is no substitute for the speaker. You will have to hone your presentation skills, you will have to own your oratory skills, and this is a very fine art and science. It can be learned, like the many other things that we learn in life. But my point is, it was important then, it is important now, it will remain important for the next 500 years. That won't change. So importance of presentation skills and imaging is a given. I think it's only a question of whether you want to adapt to this or you don't want to adapt to this. But it's a given. I can't help but cite an example. And while I cite this example, yeah, this is a very big example. I think the backdrop is already falling. Could I? Yeah. There's a lot of heat which I'm going to generate in this example, and that probably the backdrop has already felt the heat. It's falling. But this is a very telling example, friends, and while I talk to you about this example, let me make it clear, I'm not holding a brief for any political party. Neither do we have any political alignments. I'm purely concerned with core presentation skills and imaging. You have the Prime Minister of India, Dr. Manmohan Singh, a brilliant economist. No two things about that. But if you look at all his speeches and presentation skills, they leave a lot to be desired. He's speaking in monosyllables from a script. His head is always down. There is very limited eye-to-eye contact. And there is a monotone to the entire conversation. I mean, I'm a musician. We understand scales, notes. I don't think he even changes his scale, pitch and note in the entire conversation. It's almost like you've kept a robot there and the robot is rendering and programmed to do what it does. It's all nuts and bolts. There's no heart and soul. In stark contrast, look at one of the other leaders who's trying to position himself as a future Prime Minister. I don't want to name him. It's anybody's guess. And I may not even subscribe to his political ideology. Please understand that very clearly. I'm just looking at their presentation skills, nothing else. I'm here to talk about importance of presentation skills and imaging, so I'm purely looking at it from that perspective. So look at this gentleman. He does his research, he throws statistics at you, he looks at you, he talks to you, he interacts with you, gives you a little teaser in between to check whether you're sleeping or awake, and waits for your reactions. I'm not worried about the future of these two political parties. I'm worried about my country. If we have a Prime Minister who does not have good communication skills, I have a problem there. You're constantly representing the nation whether we like it or not. As a brilliant economist, you could be in the back room of the economics department and drafting policies. That's a different issue. But if you're the Prime Minister of our country, we definitely expect greater communication skills, we definitely expect greater presentation skills and better imaging. Look at Barack Obama. He literally sings his speech. Look at his command over language. Look at his oratory skills. He is literally singing his speech. And trust me, it is the skill of Barack Obama which has helped him reach where he is in the rundown to the election, subsequent to everything else. That's what keeps him going, and he continues to get the ratings as one of the most liked presidents of America. The moment there is a racist attack on a black man in America, he sends a tweet. The tweet says, "This could have been me 35 years ago." He touches the emotional chord right there in a fraction of a second. And that makes news all over the United States of America, that makes news all over the world. Now this is presentation skills and imaging. Trust me, those of you who have presentation skills and imaging as your core attributes, probably the President of America would like to talk to you 10 times in a day, if not more. If you tell him that, "Sir, this is a submissive posture, we are looking for a more aggressive posture," he will change his posture for you at a given moment. Another important point about presentation skills and speeches which I want to make here, speeches are always remembered by the grandeur of the occasion rather than the speech itself. As trainers, as people who are trying to hone our skills in this direction, we must change this equation. If you try to recollect famous speeches, Martin Luther King, "I have a dream," Neil Armstrong on the moon saying, "It's one small step for man, but one giant leap for mankind." If you look at all these situations, it is the grandeur of the occasion more than the speech or the presentation skill itself that is remembered. And that is why the speech gets remembered. As trainers, as professionals, you will have opportunities on a daily basis where you're interacting with people, where your content should be remembered more than the grandeur of the occasion. This has to change. And that can change if you have very good presentation skills, if you have very good technique, if you have got good oratory skills, which again I'm repeating is a very fine science and art, and these skills can be honed. Another telling example which I would like to illustrate at this point of time, do we realize why are there no further world wars or nuclear wars? There are at least 10 to 20 countries who today possess nuclear weapons. Somebody somewhere, when there is a crisis, is making a presentation and convincing the heads of state, no, we need to hold it here, we need not press the nuclear button. That is also happening in the form of a presentation. Do we realize the gravity of the situation? That is also happening because somebody has got the skill, the technique to convince, make a presentation and convince the heads of state, no, we can't take this step, we need to hold it here. If Warren Buffett is going to invest 200 crores in your company, you've got to make a presentation to Warren Buffett. And he's going to look at every aspect. I would like to bring another strong, important trait here to the notice of each one of you. We all do our research, we all put our facts together, we get our statistics, we study the market, but please remember, after all this that you've done, somewhere in your presentation, somewhere in your interaction, the man opposite needs to have the confidence that you can deliver. And that confidence stems from the quality of human interaction that you have with him. All the numbers are meaningless. All the statistics is meaningless beyond a certain point unless you can drive home the fundamental truth at a psychological level that you can stand and deliver. That's very important. Oprah Winfrey, again a very successful television host in America. Why did this show become such a popular show? Simply because she had one trait. She could live that moment of your life with you as you narrate on camera. She literally empathizes with you. And that touched a chord with all Americans and world over. And she became the most successful black television host in a white-dominated society. That one quality, if you look at her, she was nothing great to look at. She was, forgive my language, but maybe she was slightly on the heavier side. Not the ideal figure that Americans look for all the time. Nothing. But it's that one human quality about Oprah Winfrey, her presentation skills, which made all the difference. So friends, as I conclude, I would like to again strongly emphasize that the importance of presentation skills is a given. The question is whether you can adapt to this change or not. Otherwise, you will be completely swept by the change. Businesses today, since all of us are coming from a corporate background, I would like to bring this to your sharp notice. Businesses today are no longer about what you think you are. It is probably a little bit about what you really are. It is a lot more about what people think you are. So perception management, imaging, presentation skills become the key. But of course, any amount of presentation skills is no substitute for hard content. Content has to be there. I will not dwell on that much at this stage because I have been given to understand that other speakers will be dwelling on that aspect. Even if you look at packaging in stores, a scientific study and survey conducted shows that packaging influences buyer decision to the extent of 30%. What is packaging again? You're presenting it. So it is a given at any point of time that presentation skills and imaging skills are of paramount importance. We can't change that fundamental truth. So I would like to conclude by saying that each one of us must look very closely at our core competencies, including our presentation skills and imaging, because all the wonderful work that you do, all the wonderful training that you do, all the wonderful other attributes that you have in your persona may become meaningless unless you have this very fine skill and tact of presenting yourself and imaging. So friends, thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for your attention. And I wish success to each one of you. And as I said, we must all be part of this change of honing our presentation skills, of honing our oratory skills, of honing our skills of better imaging. Otherwise, we might just be completely swept by the change. So here's looking forward on a very positive note with each one of you, that I'm sure in the coming few months, in the coming few years, you will really do a hard think in this direction. And if there are any changes which need to be made, I'm sure those changes will be effected, they will be implemented. Thank you very much for your time and attention. And thank you, Dominic, for bringing me here the second time around. I really love this interaction. And whenever I come to trainers, as I said, it's a fantastic opportunity, because I feel the best way to cheer yourself up is to cheer others up. So all you trainers, you are in a fantastic profession. The moment you're cheering somebody else up, you're actually cheering yourself up. So keep it up, raise the ante, raise the bar, and keep it going. Thank you so much.